All right, we are live Barstool units right from the Barstool office. I'm Coach Doug's. With me, as always, Frank the Tank Fleming. Frank, I have to ask. I ask it every time. I know this is not going to be easy for you, but how you doing?
Not good. Not good. It's over. The Mets' dream is dead. Scherzer's probably going to miss the rest of the season. The division lead is gone. The only thing that they could hold on is the wild card, but the Padres are charging. The Giants are starting to get hot. And you know why the Giants are getting hot? Because JD Davis has become a fan favorite. He's tearing the cover off the ball. He has 8 home runs since the trade. He's batting over 400. Meanwhile, Darren Ruff has only gotten 1 hit with the Mets. Ruff, Nate Quinn, and Vogelback, all the 3 deadline acquisitions to be a DH and get bats, are combined 2 for the last 110. And Nate Quinn's been the worst of all. He just strikes out every at bat. Every at bat. You don't even have to throw. All you have to do is throw the ball on the ground. He just swings. He just swings at everything. Darren Ruff hasn't got the ball out of the infield lately. And Vogelback's the only one that's getting on base, but he's just not doing enough. And then it just their deadline trades were a total disaster, and it wrecked the season. And now Max Scherzer's probably going to miss the rest of the season. And everyone is saying that the Braves are already talking to DeGrom, which I don't understand how it's not tampering, but apparently he's already getting ready to go to the Braves. He's looking for a house in Gwinnett.
Now, and you mentioned that before. And are these your sources telling you this? The random people in your DMs?
Buster only said that it's a 90% chance that DeGrom goes to the Braves.
And so, what algorithm is he using for that?
I don't know. The Mets have four key free agents, and they're probably not going to have. And Andy Martino for the Mets, SNY, he doesn't think the Mets are going to sign any of them.
Well, we talked about this for a bit yesterday. If we say that this team is a losing team and can't win, do you want them to re-sign the same players?
Well, it's not a losing team. They got to. It's that they need more. It's not that they got the worst production in baseball out of the catcher's position. The Mets actually had better numbers from their pitchers last year than they've gotten from their catchers this year.
And so you think they just need to get one? So the catcher, I don't know. I mean, so you're saying the catcher position has been so bad that the whole team has been bad?
Well,
or it's let down the entire team?
They won 85 games. You know, the crazy stat is the Mets blew a 10.5 game lead, which I'm going to say any team that blows a 10-game lead, they have 10 years of losing afterwards. And
is that a common saying in baseball?
Yep. And the Mets went 51-33 since June 1st. Actually, now 51-34. Ordinarily, it is. The Braves, though, in that same stretch, are 63-23.
That sounds pretty good.
7 of the Braves. Is that right? No, 8. 8. Is that right? Let me see. 2, 3. Yeah, Frank, 7 of the Braves' 23 losses are to the Mets.
It's like a third of the losses, pretty much.
Yeah. And now here come the Padres, here come the Phillies. So the Mets won't even get the home. It's the wild card series is if you finish with the third wild card, you have to play the third division winner. And that means right now the third wild card is the Phillies. And the Phillies would play a 3-game series in St. Louis. All the games in St. Louis. There will be no travel. There will be no the host gets the wild card. All 3 games. The Padres right now are the second wild card, and they're about ready to go on a run. The Mets have a 8-game lead over the Padres to host the wild card, but the Mets never beat the Padres. Yu Darvish just kills the Mets every time he goes against them. He just has to walk on the mound. Yu Darvish through two. The Mets have been shut out 6 times this year, and twice by Yu Darvish. The Mets never beat the Padres. They always lose to the Padres, so the Padres are just going to kill them.
So obviously last night was a rough night. It was the first time this season. I think you haven't been in first place, right? Maybe early on in the season.
Fifth day of the season.
Fifth day. So you've had the lead since the 5th day of the season.
Yeah, and the Mets had the lead for the first 4 days. Didn't have it on the 5th day. Got it back on the 6th day.
Gotcha. So really,
one day of the season.
Wow. And it all comes down to this. So obviously last night you have your TikToks. You still are banned from Twitter for making negative tweets about the Mets.
Which is now become an unfair banning, because one of the things I bet was that the Mets would do nothing at the deadline is Billy Epler's incompetence. And they made trades, but the trades they made were so bad, they would have been better off doing nothing.
So are you saying it was an unfair bet or a bet you shouldn't have taken?
It was an unfair bet because Billy Epler did worse than nothing. He got shit. Darren Ruff sucks, and JD Davis is tearing the cover off the ball in San Francisco.
Who came up with the bet?
Clem. Rico tried to get me to bet today if the Mets go to win the division, I have to wear a Yankee shirt next year, and I didn't do it.
Oh, okay. So you've learned your lesson.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll see. You
know who this could be all the fault of? The Mets and I do believe they're going to get swept in a doubleheader today. I think that we're going to watch them get their asses handed to them in Miami this week. We're going to talk about that more later.
Yeah.
I sat in the same section at Citi Field 2017, 2018, 2019, no games in 2020, in 2021. It was section 321. And I sat next to Gail. That's her name, Gail. And watched a lot of bad Met losses. I only ran into her once this year, early in the season. It's a game they actually lost. Prior to that loss, I was 18-3 in Met games I attended. She cornered me in the Piazza Club and talked to me just nonstop for an hour.
Oh, really? It was like during
and
a regular
pregame. I got to the game like an hour before the game, sat in the lounge, had my steak sandwich. And the Mets have been outscored 22-4 since then by the 2 worst teams in baseball. Bad news, Gale.
So you're saying this woman cornered you in the Piazza Club for an hour.
Yeah.
And now you believe it's her fault the Mets are losing?
Well, I sat next to her for 5 years, and they did a lot of losing when we were sitting together in the same section. And I didn't see her much this year, and they were 18-3 when I went to games. Now they're 18-4.
Now they're 18-4?
Well, I've only been to one game. Games I've attended.
So because you ran into bad news Gale,
yes,
they lost the game, is what you're saying?
And then nope, it pulled the plug on the season.
Oh, there's no coming back from it.
Nope. In fact, they're going to get swept in a doubleheader by the Pirates. The Braves are going to have a 1.5 game lead by this time tomorrow. By the time people read this, see this video, they're going to have a 1.5 game lead. It's over. And in fact, the Mets' magic number to get into the wild card right now is like 16. And they're going to back in. They're going to back in the playoffs, and no team that backs in the playoffs ever has a chance. Pete Alonso's played like shit. Max Scherzer's probably going to miss the rest of the season. And then the offseason, they're going to lose all their stars.
Well, I mean, I guess at least if they do make the wild card, it'll be another banner in the stadium.
I hate that wild card banner. I mean, how about we hang up participant banners?
Hey, I mean, it's probably not too far away.
You don't hang up wild card banners. It's you don't win. I could understand division banners. I could understand, of course, you hang up the National League Championship banners. You don't put up wild card banners.
What if you win the wild card?
You don't put up wild card banners.
Not even if you win.
If you go to the World Series, you put up the National League Championship banner.
Yeah.
Which they did in 2000 out of the wild card.
So you're out on wild card banners.
Yeah, I don't want to see a banner that says wild card. I mean, how about we hang up the fucking participant banner?
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, the Yankees don't even acknowledge years they lost the World Series.
Really?
Yeah, they have a wall that has all their 27 championships.
Mm-hmm.
They don't put any of the years that they went to the National League Championship. I mean, you went to Pittsburgh last year. We saw the flags. They had like National League champions, world champions.
Yeah.
They don't have their division championships up.
I guess that's just a different team, you know. I guess they have a different level of a different standard, if you will.
I mean,
different level of excellence.
I mean, this year has felt more like 1985 and 86. But once you lose everyone else, DeGrom going to the Braves, Diaz probably going to the Braves, Nimmo going to the Rockies, Bassett going to the Padres, then you're back to square fucking one with Jose Butto and Jared Eichhoff starting. And Brian Montez de Aca, who so far has made 2 appearances for the Mets and has given up 10 runs and has only gotten 2 outs.
So you're not doing too good.
He gave up a home run yesterday. That might be one of the longest home runs ever at PNC Park. It was hit it's the hardest ball hit in the StatCast era. And you remember we were walking on the pier outside the ballpark?
The Riverwalk, yeah.
Yeah, well, he put one into the river.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, you know.
That's going to be the Mets closer next year after they lose Diaz.
Yeah, you think they're going to lose Diaz?
Yep.
Where do you think he'll go?
He'll go to either the Braves or the fabulous Los Angeles Dodgers.
Why do you think everybody's going to the Braves? Do you think that's just a better organization? Do you think people like the area more?
Everything just fucking sucks. And Buster Only said it.
But Buster Only said they're all going to the Braves?
Yes.
Now, before we get so we'll get into a little weekend recap. You got an email last night. Do we know if that was an official email from Blooper?
I think it might have been.
It might have been, because it wasn't from a Braves email address. It was an email address.
Yes, I think he knows I muted him on Twitter.
Oh, gotcha. So he had to get you. He had to get you the old-fashioned way.
Yes.
Well, it was a respectful email, right?
I fucking hate that mascot. He really is a fucking menace.
He is a menace.
And Mr. Met just does nothing.
They
don't even fucking try.
No, you would think Mr. Met would have your back. I don't know. Not my mascot.
Because of that, Mr. Met's no longer my favorite mascot. I'll tell you who my favorite mascot is.
Breaking news. You heard it here first. Who's your favorite mascot?
I'll tell you who my favorite mascot is. It's NJ.
Yeah. There you go.
NJ Devil has a much better social media presence than Mr. Met. Mr. Met is a dud on social media.
He might as well not even have an account.
He might as well.
Be the team account.
I understand they have Mr. and Mrs. Met, but Mr. Met does nothing on social media. He talks about his appearances. He talks about where he's going. He'll show himself at the games, but he doesn't actively tweet. He doesn't actively do skits. NJ Devil does. NJ Devil trolls other teams. NJ Devil once went on the Jimmy Fallon show, and you'll love this. There was a bet that the Rangers would beat the Devils. It was a regular season game.
Mhm.
Rangers, the Devils won the game, and if the Devils would have won the game, NJ Devil got a chance to go on the Jimmy Fallon show and pie Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
So he even did a video where he's like at Calandros, he's picking out the pie, pick up that he points at the pie, and he's like looking at the pie, smells the pie, and you see him driving into the city. He gets out and he walks up and pie him right in the face, right on the show.
Mr. Met would never do that.
Nope. NJ Devil, NJ Devil. Yeah. That's why NJ Devil is now officially my favorite mascot.
It's official. Boom, right there. So, all right. Well, there you go. Mr. Met is out
last week. I said last week, he goes, and I said, Mr. Met, you got to choke slam Blooper. And he didn't even respond.
He didn't even respond?
No.
That's upsetting, Frank. That's, I mean, I don't know if, I think Blooper at least likes you. I don't know if Mr. Met even likes you.
Does he think I'm one of the fans? Well, Mr. Met has a new actor now. He's had one a couple of years, because a couple of years ago, the guy who was in the Mr. Met costume got fired for a couple of fans.
Blooper would never. Though
Mr. Met wouldn't try to decapitate a 6-year-old in a flag football game.
Yeah, again, why he's not the best mascot. So there you go. Mr. Met's out. NJ Devil is in. So this weekend, Frank, obviously yesterday was a no-go for you, but I was down in NOLA. What were you doing this weekend?
Misery, suffering, pain.
Yeah, I'm keeping up. Again, you're off of negative Mets Twitter, but you're making your TikToks. Yesterday's TikTok, I couldn't even comprehend. I needed captions, but I don't even think captions would have helped.
I mean, all year they all talked about this 16-game stretch against the worst teams in baseball, and they're so far the 0-3.
It's rough. Well, I had a fun time down in New Orleans. I almost died at the game, that last second block field goal. That's the second time I've been in person to see a missed field goal by a team from Louisiana.
That's exactly when I saw that. I went, holy shit, it happened again. Because, it should have never Forest State should have never allowed that to happen. It should have never been a touchdown. I mean, the pitchback was a bad play. I mean,
yeah.
Run the ball there. Run the ball. Yeah. Just try to score. If you don't score, you run the clock down and make LSU use their last timeout and kick the damn field goal. You're up 10. The game's probably over.
The game's probably over. Yeah, I'm not even upset at the fumble. Like, listen, there are kids out there playing a game.
No, the players didn't screw it up. The coach should never call that play.
Well, then that's what I'm saying. So I'm not even upset at the fumble. I'm upset at the play call, and it's that kind of play call that makes me not trust Mike Norvell. We can win all the games, and they'll say, "How do you like Mike Norvell?" And it's that kind of play call down there on the goal line where I just go, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. But we got the win, so I'm happy about the win, obviously, but I think I'm more relieved.
Yeah, I've been there before. Yeah. And I tell you what, that game goes overtime. I don't see how Florida State wins the game.
No. All the momentum was on LSU side. I tell you what, though, and I wrote this in a blog. We'll see if they publish it. Most of the LSU fans, especially in my section, but almost all the way at the top where I was sitting, they had left as soon as LSU fumbled the ball on the punt return. All the LSU fans had left the stadium, or at least, again, my section. So they didn't even get to see it. But it should have never gotten to that. Again, just more relieved than anything.
Did you see Brian Kelly reaming this reporter who walked in late?
Well, I saw him try to do it, and then she killed him.
You know,
Maybe if you win, I'll be on time. I That is so disrespectful, but at the same time,
Brian Kelly is not off to a good start in Louisiana.
no.
I mean, so far what have we gotten so far? We've gotten horrific special teams, basically costing that game.
Oh, absolutely.
Flat performance. They were flat most of the game.
There were two fumbles on punt, fumbled punts, and then the block PAT.
I don't know if you're old enough to remember when ever there was like a special show on CBS. It was like if they used to show Peanut specials all the time. Peanuts used to be on CBS. So before the show began, the regular program is not scheduled today, and then you hear like this thing come out with special. Dun, 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 dun. That's all I kept thinking about every time I saw LSU special teams. You should like splice that together with the LSU's foibles on special teams.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
So they did their first game was a disaster for LSU. They should never have lost that game with fumbled punts, blocked PAT. Then he first arrived there. He had the fake Southern accent.
Yeah,
which everyone's making fun of, and then he tries to ream out a reporter, and ends up getting like owned.
Yeah, and I don't even think he was trying to like ream her out. I think it was more of just like I think because he was, I don't know, he wasn't mad or upset or anything, but he was just saying, hey, like, and he was even saying like, hey, at the end of the year, we're going to use all that money to throw a party. So it wasn't even like, hey, like a punishment. It was, it seemed very, joking, and she just came over the top. And it's not a good start for him down in LSU. It's difficult enough. I think FSU probably has that same or had that same issue after Jimbo. When you go into LSU, like they expect you to win they expect you to win double digits like every game, and they expect you to have more than 9 wins each season. So it's not a good start for him.
And then the kid on there, is that the same kid that was that did you?
No,
Dave wasn't.
No, different kid for sure.
Because you can't spell LSU without the L.
That was mean. That was mean. I ran into so many friendly people down there. Like obviously, I mean, there's drunk college kids, yelling, fuck FSU and all this stuff while you're walking on the street. Whatever, it happens. But I met a lot of nice people, and that was mean. That was mean. Little kid. That was mean.
New Orleans looks like a fun town. Found fun town.
It is. It's great food, great music, and everything. When I was on Bourbon Street, a drunk kid invited. A lot of people were questioning my seating. They said I was up at the nosebleeds. Well, can Barstool not get better seats?
I get those too.
Those were the seats where the people were sitting who I was with. I was with my people. I could have gotten sideline tickets. I could have gotten 20 rows up, but who would I have been? I would have been sitting by myself. I want to sit with my people, so I'm sitting in the top section.
That's why the Game Time app is good to us.
Yes, I could have. Yes, and you saw Mincy had great seats. I don't know where Megan was, but I'm sure she had great seats too.
I actually think Megan was sitting next to Mincy.
Oh, was she?
Yeah,
I think they were. I mean, I'm sure they were down there in the lower bowl. But yeah, I was sitting up where my people were. I did on Bourbon Street. A drunk young guy did invite me to Jack Nicklaus Suite at the stadium. And who knows if Jack Nicklaus actually has a suite at the stadium or did for the game, but it seems very specific. He didn't say like, hey, you should come to my suite.
Didn't his grandson go to Florida State? Oh, tell me you froze.
Yes. No. Yeah, he did. Yeah, Nick O'Leary, the tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
I remember him.
But again, who knows if he actually had it. Anyway, what I'm saying is it was very specific to say the Jack Nicklaus suite. So I think it was a suite. Anyway, so I can get tickets. I can get good seats, but I sit where my people sit. And I had fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I stayed at the Boomtown.
that's all that matters.
I stayed at the Boomtown Casino in Harvey, which is just like a 15-minute drive south, and which is a nice, Penn property. But yeah, so I had a great weekend. FSU won. I can't ask for anything more.
Now, we got we went 3-2 in our college picks, and literally were saved by that. Both of us were saved by that Miss PAT.
Yeah, it kept you in the under, and I don't think FSU would have won that game if it went to OT. So, well, we'll have some more
NFL season.
Yeah, we'll have some more picks later on, but we also have it's the start of the NFL season. We're going down to Miami. We're going to be at the Miami game. Do you want to go through your Miami predictions, your Dolphins predictions for the season?
I think the Dolphins make the playoffs. I think they actually might have a chance to win a playoff game. I could see them going around 10-7. I think the talent's going to be there. I think Mike McDaniel, he's brought in to basically, he knows how to run to the offense with Tua.
Yeah.
So I think they'll actually I think they're going to make the playoffs.
Okay. All right. So 10-7, and they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right. That's
what do you see for the Jaguars?
So for the Jaguars, it was tough because I could see it. I know for sure there's going to be at least 2 losses, and I was stuck on 2 other games that could go either way. So, worst case scenario, 4 games lost. They're 13-4 at worst.
They go 13-4. Pederson's gonna run away with Coach of the Year. I tell you that.
Yeah, I was looking. Okay, so let me look through this real quick. All right, so we're starting at Washington. That's a win. Their stadium, as far as I know, is still leaking sewage.
Kind of like Oakland. The only thing is, Oakland Stadium is 50 years old, and that stadium's 30.
Yeah. So, Washington, bad name, Commanders. It's going to be the first.
I hate
Commanders, that name. Bad name, bad stadium, bad owner. Dan Snyder is the only owner. Like whenever I complain about Shad Khan, I think Dan Snyder, and it stops my complaining. And I go, you know what? It could be worse. It could be worse. So that's a win. We got Colts at Jacks. That's a home game. That's a win. The Chargers. We're playing at LA. We have to go onto the West Coast, and we have to play the number 1 LA team after the Rams, So that could be a loss. Then we have to play at Eagles. Jalen Hurts has something to prove. They have A.J. Brown now. I tell you what, though.
That's a Doug Peterson revenge game, though.
Yeah. Here's the deal. If Gardner Minshew plays, I think the Eagles could win. If Gardner Minshew plays, I think the Eagles will win. And then we have, Texas at Jacks. Okay, that's a home game. Win. At Colts, Matt Ryan, I don't think so. Win. Giants at Jacks. Win. Broncos at Jacks, London. It's a home game. That's a win. Raiders at Jacks, home game. Win. Jaguars at Chiefs. That could be a tough one. Then we have Ravens at Jacks. That's a home game. Ravens can't even keep their mascot healthy. I don't think their team is going to be fully healthy. At Lions, that's going to be a good game. I think Dan Campbell, he's got this heart. He's got the team. The team's going to have heart, so they could play it out. Then we have Jaguars at Titans. Derrick Henry is going to run it down our throats. And then when we get back up, he's going to be running it back the other way, and he's going to run up our backs. That game I could see is an easy loss for the Jaguars. Then we have Cowboys at Jacks, the home game. Jaguars at New York Jets. when we played last season, we didn't even have a coach. It was the end of the season. Nothing really mattered. That doesn't count. Jaguars are serious this season. That's a win. At Texans, yeah, I mean, the Texans aren't going to have anything left to play for it that late. And then Titans at Jax, that's a home game, easy win. I got them going 14-3 at work. I mean, maybe 13-4 at worst, but 14-3 I think is a pretty realistic schedule.
If they go 14-3, they're going to build a statue for Doug Pederson.
It could happen. It could happen. I mean, again, I don't want to say 14-3 though, because I think that might be setting my hopes too high.
Now,
I will settle for 13-4.
You know, almost 30 years ago, 1993, the Dolphins had a good team, and it just all fell apart because of injuries. They were 9-2, and then they lost the last 5 because everyone was hurt. Dan Marino got hurt in October, so they had to bring on Scott Mitchell to be the quarterback. And then Scott Mitchell got hurt as Don Shula is going for his 325th win, I believe it was, or 324, to break George House's record, become the all-time winningest coach in NFL history. So Mitchell gets hurt. So they had to go to their third-string quarterback, who, upon finding out that he was going to go play, threw up on the sidelines. He went into the game. The Dolphins found a way to win. That third-string quarterback is Doug Pederson.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's funny.
Doug Pederson got Don Shula his record-breaking win in 1993 as a third-string quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
There you go. He's a winner. He's a winner. We have a winner. We have a winner coach. And again, 14-3 sounds very optimistic. I don't want to come across as too optimistic. I'm comfortable with saying 13-4. I'm comfortable with saying 13-4.
I think the best team in the NFL is the Buffalo Bills. I think they're winning the Super Bowl.
I could see that. I could see Josh Allen taking them. All right.
Now,
so Jaguars 13-4. Dolphins to at least make the playoffs, maybe get a playoff win.
Yes.
That's fair.
Now, as we were of course, we've already mentioned we're going to go down to Miami, watch the Mets on Saturday night, probably lose. Hopefully, the Dolphins can beat the Patriots on Sunday. But one thing we're doing the units belt this year, and now we've explained it this year. We're going to take 5 games, 5 pro games, 5 NFL games, 5 college games, and we're going to pick them every week. Last week, we both went 3-2. We took different paths to 3-2. The Oregon Ducks, what the fuck? I mean, I didn't even show up.
Someone did say you took Oregon, not Oregon, so that might not be a losing pick for you.
Yeah, well, Oregon sucked.
Fair enough.
It was Oregon gone, and Notre Dame played a little bit more competitively than I thought they would. I didn't think I thought it would be like they usually do when they play one of those powerhouses that they get boat raced. They didn't get boat raced.
Those were your 2 losses.
Yep.
Well, I bet in favor of my team. I bet that FSU would win, or at least plus 3.5 that they would cover. And they did, because I have faith in my team. That's just me, though.
You know me. I'm the pessimist.
Indeed. So
let's go. Some people see the glass half empty. Some people see it half full. I know it's half empty, and it's fucking leaking at the bottom.
Well, maybe if your attitude was better, it wouldn't be leaking.
Well, look at the Mets; they're leaking.
Oh, they are. That's leaking is a good word. Leaking is a very optimistic word for what they're doing.
I mean, they didn't just choke in 2007. In 1998, they had a 1-game lead in the wild card with 5 games left, and they lost their last 5 games. In 1999, they had a 6-game lead for the wild card. They lost 7 games to the Braves in a 2-week stretch, and had to go into the last weekend of the season and sweep the Pirates, and got help from the Brewers, who won 2 games against the Reds to force a 1-game playoff. In 2007, everyone knows they blew a 7-game lead with 12 games left. And 2008, they blew a 4-game lead with 6 games left for the wild card, and with Aaron Heilman giving up 2 home runs, back-to-back home runs in the 8th inning of the last game at Chase Stadium. And then we had to sit there and watch the ceremony of all the former Met players. Couldn't do it before the game. No. They had to do it after the game to rub the salt in the wounds of all these former Mets touching home plate, coming down the line and touching home plate, including Willie Mays, Yogi Berra were both there that day. Just to rub the fucking salt in the room. They're sitting there doing this ceremony, and then they had to bring out all these players, and you're just sitting there numb, like, and then they play the Beatles song, "There Are Places I Remember," as Tom Seaver and Mike Piazza walk off the field, and then not 24 hours later, they tear down the scoreboard. Boom! And then they start ripping out the seats and demolish the stadium within 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It might just be something about the organization, Frank.
Well, I was hoping it would change with Steve Cohen. It
might.
Never feels like it's going to change. All right.
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, we went 3-2 last week. I am prepared to give my college picks right now.
All right, go for it.
We'll do that first, and then we'll do our pro picks. I don't have
we'll go.
I've got a pen, but I know you have yours written down. All right.
Yep.
And a part of this thing is we have to pick our teams. I got to pick Notre Dame College, Dolphins Pro game. You have to pick Florida State, although they're off this week, I believe, and the Jaguars.
Yep.
So I'm going to start off with the Notre Dame game.
All right.
A lot of points. It's a lot of points. They are 20.5-point favorite over Marshall. And I think they're going to cover it. I think they're going to make a big statement in their first game at home this year. I mean, for the people at Marshall, we've actually, I don't know if you saw, but I saw the Marshall campus recently. And there's not much there. So they're going to come to Notre Dame field. They're going to be awed. They're going to see the Golden Dome, and they're going to realize, wow, this is what a real college is like. As the Irish waltz all over the Thundering Herd.
That's uncalled for. They're good people.
Then the next game I'm going to go with, I believe the ESPN Game Days crew is going to be out there this week. Everyone's saying Texas is back. Yeah. Alabama is a 20-point favorite on the road in Texas. They're going to kill the Longhorns. They're going to be hooking the horns. They're going to be the horns are going to. This game is going to be decided by more than 30. I mean, Nick Saban's just going to run. Alabama's just going to run up and down the field. No, Texas, you're not back. You're not back anytime soon.
And so you're taking Alabama minus 20?
Alabama minus 20. All right. I saw this spread, and I thought it was outlandish.
Hawaii?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hawaii might be one of the worst college teams ever.
Really?
Yes. They got humiliated at home by Vanderbilt.
Well, I mean, it's Vanderbilt, right?
It's Vanderbilt, the worst team in the SEC. They're going into the big house, Ann Arbor. Jim Harbaugh it's gonna this is by the third quarter they're gonna have the second string out there, and they're gonna be running up and down the field on the Hawaii. Hawaii is not going to score. Not going to score. 51 points. I'm laying them. Michigan minus 51.
All right, I'm so glad. I'm really happy you're taking that.
Then we got Pittsburgh. Solid win in the backyard brawl. And they're a 6.5-point dog at home to Tennessee. Tennessee might be an improving team, but I don't think they're a 7-point favorite over Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh might even win the game outright. But I'm definitely taking the 6.5 points. Pittsburgh plus 6.5. And the last one I'm going with over under. I'm going to go with over under, and I'm taking the under. The over under in the Gators, Florida Gators, Kentucky game is 52.5. Kentucky's always seemed to have a good defense. Gators offense average. I don't think it's getting to 52.5. I like this under.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Frank. Let's see here. I think we have at least 3 of the same games.
Wow.
But thankfully, we're on the opposite sides. This is gonna be a fun weekend. It's good because we can keep up. We only have to watch a few games, and this could be a big swing early on in our season for the title belt. So I have Tennessee minus 7. I'm taking Tennessee. You can take Pittsburgh in the points. I'm taking Tennessee. I have Iowa State, Iowa over 40.5. I think that's super low, and it might be reasonable, but 40.5.
Have you seen Iowa's offense?
I'm taking 40.5 points for any college game is ridiculous. I'm taking over in the Iowa State, Iowa.
Who did Iowa play last week? They won. The final score is 7-3, and it got there because of 2 safeties and a field goal.
I'm taking the over. Over 40.5 is so low. Taking West Virginia minus 13.
Who are they playing?
Shoot, I had it on here. Well, I'll look that up in a second. West Virginia minus 13. I have Kentucky plus 5. And give me Hawaii plus 52.
I was tempted to take Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable taking Kentucky plus 5.
I actually like that pick. I was tempted to use that one, but I wanted to do one over under.
Yeah. So Kentucky plus 5, and then Hawaii. I'm taking Hawaii. Give me. Here's the thing. I could see Jim Harbaugh. I could see them getting out to like a 40-point lead, and then them putting the water boy in. Because at that point it's not even practice.
I think the water boy could even probably score on Hawaii
if he's like a graduate assistant who he has one more year of eligibility. Hawaii might
be one of the worst college teams ever assembled.
Yeah, this pick is not a pick because I am confident that Hawaii will cover. It's that it's so many points. I don't know if Jim Harbaugh will have the heart to kill them that much.
I remember Michigan beating Rutgers when they were really bad, 78-0.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it could happen, but plus 52 points. I mean, Jesus. I'm excited to take that pick. Over 50 points. I hope the cover.
All right.
So we'll have a good college football card, no matter what. It could be a big swing this week.
Now this is the first week we're doing an NFL card. It says NFL kickoff. And let's start with the kickoff. I'm going to go. The Bills are going to be the Super Bowl champions this year. I'm high on Buffalo. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to win the opener. They're actually favored in Los Angeles by 2.5. So I'm taking the Bills 2.5.
Yep.
Now we're going to the Dolphins. We're going to watch the Miami play the Patriots. They're 3.5-point favorites. I'm actually kind of confident about that. I think the Dolphins. I think the Patriots. I think the Patriots are almost at the point where they're going to start having to rebuild. I'm not sold on Mac Jones, and I think a lot of the other pieces around the team are now a little bit old and long in the tooth.
All right. I mean, it's Bill Belichick. I mean,
but
I think you know better than most people.
It's now Bill Belichick, 69 years old, and maybe he's losing He's losing a little bit on his fastball. He doesn't have Tom Brady anymore.
I mean, it seems like whenever anybody doubts Bill or Tom Brady, there's a problem. So, But I mean, hey, if you're comfortable with it, that's your pick. Go for it.
Now, speaking of Tom Brady, Buccaneers open the season on Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys. It's in Dallas. The Buccaneers are 2.5-point favorites. And I love the Cowboys as a home dog. I think Tom Brady is not, like I said, I think Tom Brady, this is the year he falls off the cliff. The 11 days away from preseason, the trouble in paradise with Giselle. I think the Cowboys win this game, and they win it easily.
All right.
So I'm taking that. I'm taking the Cowboys in 2.5. And then I'm going to go Monday night. Russell Wilson returning home to Seattle against a Seahawks team that is you can already see the tank. They've already got the tank. They're pulling Geno Smith's coming on the field. No, Geno Smith's going to come on the field in a tank because they are tanking. If Geno Smith's your quarterback, that means you are tanking. Geno Smith is so bad. Geno Smith, I don't think if he played in the USFL, he would be the best quarterback in the USFL. That is how bad Geno Smith is. I mean, and then you traded for Drew Lock, and Geno Smith beat out Drew Lock. How bad does that mean Drew Lock is? The Seahawks are going to lose. They're going to lose a lot of games. The Seahawks are not going to be close in a lot of games. You're going to have by the end of the half, the crowd's going to be cheering for Russell Wilson. He's going to get a standing ovation before the game. He's going to get a standing ovation when he throws touchdowns. This 12th man is out. The 12th man is on IR this year. The Seahawks are a bad team, a horrible team. I don't know why Pete Carroll's still even the coach. I mean, it's clear he's going to be out the door at the end of this year. They're going to bring in a new guy. They're going to rebuild from scratch. I don't even know if Pete Carroll's going to even last the whole season. He brought him a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson brought a Super Bowl. They should have won 2 Super Bowls. But, dumb play calling at the goal line cost them that game. And now the Seahawks are trash. They look like an expansion team. They got DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is probably going to be begging, please trade me, please trade me, trade me. The Seahawks, I'm taking the Broncos minus 6.5. That game might as well be 20.5. The Broncos are going to destroy the Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to get blown out a lot this season. It's going to be a bad year in the Pacific Northwest. And my over-under for the NFL is Chiefs-Cardinals. It's 53.5. It's a lot of points. But you know what? Patrick Mahomes can put up a lot of points. I like the over in the Chiefs-Cardinals game.
All right, fair enough. Over in the Chiefs Cardinal. And what was the over?
53.5.
The 53.5?
Yep.
All right. Well, Yeah, I mean, you said I think what a lot of people agree with Denver and since Denver and Seattle. I was tempted to take that, but I think it's just too easy. It's too easy. I want to challenge myself here. So I think that's an easy bet. We'll see if it works out. Hey, listen, if it doesn't work out, that's going to be a bad loss. But yeah, everything
Well,
you just.
I got invited into a survivor pool.
Mhm.
I took the Broncos.
Yeah, I think it's a good first pick. Now, is that a survivor pool, like in the sense that once you lose one game, you're out?
Yep.
How many people are in the? How many people are in it?
Last I looked, it was about 10.
And you can only pick one team once, right?
Yep.
Yeah, those are fun, but it can be stressful. All right, so my 5 picks, I've got obviously Jacksonville plus 2.5. I mean, going into Washington, I feel very comfortable with Jacksonville plus 2.5. Again, they're only going to lose 3-4 games this season. One of those losses is not going to be to Washington. Next, Carolina going into Cleveland. Listen, Carolina -2. I'll take that all day. I think they're
Oh,
going
and
to.
keep in mind that's the Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, yeah.
Baker
I think
Mayfield.
he's going to go in there and he's going to be pissed. So I've got Carolina -2 easily. New Orleans, Jameis Winston, the comeback from the comeback. I'm high on Jameis Winston. In fact, I think I'm going to do it before the season starts. I'm going to put in my last year. I think it was like 3,300 plus 3,300. I don't know what it'll be this year if they even have it available. But Jameis Winston for MVP. I'm making the pick again. I'm doing it. The comeback from the comeback. I've got New Orleans -5.5. Next, this is a fun pick. I like it. I don't see Detroit beating the Eagles, but you never know. And so I'm taking Detroit +4. And for my 5th pick, again, I was going to do Denver, Seattle, but I don't see how Denver loses that game. I'm taking Pittsburgh, Cincinnati over 44.5. I like both of those teams. Trubisky, the guy who's in Cincinnati, Joe.
No Burrow.
Oh yeah, Joe Burrow. I mean, yeah. So I like both of those quarterbacks. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati over 44.5 seems pretty low to me. So those are my 5 NFL picks, and yeah, I'm happy with them. I'm happy with them.
Well, we'll see how we rank next week. If we can improve from 3-2, as we battle for the unit's belt.
There we go. All right, so we're headed to Miami tomorrow. Thankfully, there's a doubleheader on today, which means there's not going to be a Mets game tomorrow because I can't drive while you're watching the Mets game in the passenger seat.
Well,
I literally
how about I drive when the Mets play?
physically impossible, physically and mentally impossible.
Last year, what was it? They were doing some content for the Chef Donnie fight, and they went to my house to like cook like spaghetti, and have just like make fun of the chef that Chef Donnie was fighting at Rough and Rowdy.
Yeah.
And we're driving, and I'm with Marty and a couple other people, and the Mets had an error while the driving was on, and Marty just had this look of terror on his face. He's up yelling at the fucking radio. He was like, "My God, when the Mets are on, it's like you're a drunk driver."
Yeah. So obviously you can't drive while the Mets.
I think I just fine.
It's going to be rough. I just want to make this very clear. I agreed to this road trip when the Mets had like a 6.5 game lead. I asked you this morning if you're sure you want to do this, and you said yes. So we're still doing it. We're going down to Miami. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, but I agreed to it, and it's all content, right?
Yeah, it's all content.
Just hopefully, I don't know. Can you imagine? I survived Rough and Rowdy. I survived a pre heart attack in New Orleans, just to swerve into a pole in Miami. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, and I think we'll obviously go live once we're in Miami and everything. But it's gonna be a fun trip.
Yep.
All right. So that's Barstool Units. We'll keep track of all our unit bets for the unit belt, and we will see you next time. Frank, please take us out.
Misery met in September. Every year is a new heartache. Misery, the suffering never ends. When are KFC and Clem gonna learn? See you next week. Click like, subscribe.